Hi, I'm Jennifer Crumans. Welcome. As many of you know, I'm a mom of 3 children, one son with autism, and I'm actually a teacher of children with autism as well. Our son is now 19 years old. He was diagnosed when he was 4. And our journey, I think, like probably many of you can relate to, has been a long, hard journey. I think it's been more rewarding, I guess. Maybe as I look back, I realize it was very rich and rewarding as well. But when you're living it and you're right in the midst of it, it's a tough one. And I've found myself being like so taken up in trying to take care of his needs when he was young and taking care of his educational needs, getting him to communicate, doing all sorts of therapy. I guess I should say waiting to get on therapy lists, waiting to get off therapy lists, waiting for services, advocating, and trying to always search for the best tools and the best strategies possible. That I think, in hindsight, I lost myself, I guess is the only way that I can describe it. I think that I became saturated with autism and my world kind of revolved around autism. And I think that is pretty normal, and I think it's even okay for a short time. As I look back now, I realize that it's when we keep living this momentum, this sort of speed, that we risk losing ourselves. And as I work with students with autism and I work with parents and children, I realize that I kept seeing this constant pattern of parents who were burnt right out, who were running on empty and trying to give everything that they had. And I realized that perhaps the best way that I can serve students or individuals with autism is to also serve their caregivers and those people who raise them, who love them, who educate them. Because I think, well, I guess I know now that you can't give what you don't have. I remember people used to say that to me, but I remember at the time thinking, yeah, well, you don't live in my shoes. You don't know what life is like for me. But I think one of the reasons that we survived, maybe, perhaps, as a couple, and then in my own mind, I was able to work through some of the challenges, is because I recognize that indeed we are valuable ourselves. When our children come into our lives, certainly they take precedence, but I don't think it's at the expense of ourselves. So knowing this and seeing the kind of exhaustion around me, I decided that I wanted to serve people and caregivers, parents, grandparents, educators, paraprofessionals, those people that are on the front lines giving of themselves and giving themselves, and to take my experience and maybe my wisdom, if I can call it wisdom, and to help to empower you to be, to grow and to develop spiritually, physically, financially, emotionally, whatever way I can serve, to try to help, so that by building you, by helping to build you and support you, that you then are able to build and support the individuals that you love so much and you give so much. I created Empower You as an extension of Autism Aspirations so that I could serve and empower you to achieve your goals and become the best version of yourself that you can be. I think the investment that we make in ourselves will serve to build and strengthen those we love and care for, far more than leaving ourselves on empty and giving ourselves up. I invite you to join me on Facebook at Autism Aspirations and back on my website with my blog to join into a conversation. We need to take this journey together. Thank you, and I look forward to serving you.